We absolutely need to get away from all of the crap that you've been doing for the last 40 years of your life, which is starving yourself and running your body into the ground with cardio. We kind of match our Stanleys. It vibes.
Sponsored by
Stanley. It still says February, but it's March.
No, you have to change.
No, we don't have time for that.
Absolutely have to change it.
Nope.
Okay, then we're not using it right now. I feel like we did a great job looking like March. Like if I had to dress us as March, this is what I would dress us as, and we didn't even plan it. It was just kind of like you go in your room and pick out something, I'm gonna go in my room and pick out something, and we'll both come out, and we've been really in sync today.
I feel like we went through a really rough patch of just not being on the same vibe, and normally we do a good job of like complimenting each other.
I will tell you the reason why. It's because I have been nicer, which when I am uptight, it causes you to panic. And then you get stressed as you think I'm gonna be mad at your outfits. And I've just been kind of like more enabling you make a decision. Don't rely on me. You choose what you want to wear. I will match you.
It hasn't been that. It's just been, our energy's been a little bit more synced, I think.
Because we're in better moods.
Okay.
Welcome back to the channel. I'm Melissa and this is my beautiful sister Jessica. And today we are back with If I Were You. And today we are back with our If I Were You series.
That sounds very... Today we're back with our If I Were
You. And today we are doing our If I Were You series.
Also sounds weird. Today we're carrying on with...
You're just sound like mom.
What does mom have to say about that?
Today we're back with our If I Were You series.
What is that? Are you gonna be okay?
Yeah. Today's If I Were You series is if we were 60-year-old women, how would we lose weight?
This is a good one.
This is a good one because I feel like all of the women that we talk to that are, in their 60s, post-menopause, they're kind of like, it's just my body, it's my hormones, it's my age. Can you actually help? Like, do other women my age see results from calorie cycling?
I'd even like kind of stretch the gamut back a little bit and say almost like 50 plus.
Yeah.
Women are like, yeah, it's my age, it's my hormones. Maybe this is just where I'm meant to be. My mom kind of looks like this. My grandma looks like that. Even, all the women in my family, we all just kind of look like this. So I feel like maybe this is just where I'm meant to be. And that's always the hardest thing to have the conversation with, because when you get to that point, you're almost starting to give yourself that excuse of like, maybe nothing is gonna be able to change. Our clients are living proof that that's just not true. We have a woman who's 68 years old, literally in the best shape of her entire life. Like, she came to us again, saying all of those things, feeling like everything was broken. She started strength training, eating in a moderate calorie deficit, like doing all of the things right way for the first time in her entire life. She has better biceps than half of the coaches on our team. Like, it's insane. She looks phenomenal. She said she feels the best that she's ever felt. She feels about 10 years younger. And she said even her relationship with her husband is the best that it's ever been. She's like, honestly, it feels like we're teenagers again. So
it's amazing.
Who doesn't want that? If we were 60-year-old women, the first thing that we would need to do is take those excuses of it's my age, it's my hormones, it's just what this is meant to be, and you need to check all those excuses at the door.
That's the first thing, because I think that when you start to label yourself with those excuses, it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy of it is your age, maybe it is your hormones, and you are gonna slow down. Naturally, you do just kind of start to slow down as you get older. Just because you're 50, 60 years old doesn't mean you have to stop. Like, you can still be active. And that's where we see so many women of, I'm like, what changed between, when you were 40 and you felt really good to now all of a sudden, like, you're in like your mid 50s to like 60 years old, and all of a sudden you put on all this weight, and they're like, well, I really just kind of stopped moving. Like, I used to be really active. I used to do this and that, and I really don't do that anymore.
Well, think about it this way, right? Like, when you're a new mom, you are chasing after your young kids all day. When, you are a mom of like, middle-aged kids, like, you're driving them around, you're pretty active, you're going from here to there, doing all the things. You're going into work, maybe you're in an office, but you're still like, you're moving, you're doing a lot of things. Over time, we naturally have less things to do as all of our responsibilities start to, slowly go away. We start to do less things, and by just nature, we move a little bit less. So that's number one. Like, we are moving less. Number two, your metabolism is probably in a place where it's pretty shot after years of chronic dieting. So by the time you're 60, most women we talk to, they've been dieting for about 4 decades.
Yeah.
Right?
And that's the difference is like when you're younger and you come to us, maybe you have like 10, 15, 20 years under your belt of dieting. When you're 60, like 50s, 60s, you have a lot more years of dieting under your belt, which means your metabolism is that much more damaged or adapted.
It's functioning a lot slower, which means that your body's not burning as many calories as it used to. No, it's not your age. No, it's not your hormones, even though those things do add a small layer of it, like of difficulty to it. It's really the fact that you're not as active anymore. Number 2, your metabolism's kind of wrecked from years of chronic dieting. And the last thing is, because you're less active, because your metabolism has slowed down, and because you don't do all of the things that you used to, and just from natural process of age, you probably have started to lose muscle mass. And the less muscle mass that you have, the less calories your body burns throughout the day. So your body composition has probably changed from feeling, stronger and more toned to probably a little bit more fluff, more pudge, and less of that muscle mass.
The 2 main things that we need to focus on if we were 60-year-old women is we would start to want to get stronger. Mm-hmm. So we would start strength training. Mm-hmm. And then we would start to fuel our bodies more. Mm-hmm. So we would want to actually eat more food to help with that reverse metabolic adaptation.
So let's talk about 2 of these things, because like you said, the whole process of getting stronger, that should be like focus number 1. Too many times when we think about losing weight, we go into like, how can I just drop weight as quick as possible? But the problem is that when your body's losing weight, it doesn't discriminate between losing muscle mass or losing body fat or losing water, right? Like it all kind of comes off when we're focused on overall weight loss. That's not what we want in this case.
Right. As you get older, right? Like you don't want to be like that old lady who's just kind of like hunched over and shriveled and just kind of like that soft look, right? Like you can still have a lean physique into like your 70s, 80s. Like you can do that. That's totally fine. The thing that happens that we hear the most is like women who are in their 60s are like, I can't strength train. Like I'm not like
I'm worried I'm gonna hurt myself.
Yeah,
I'm not an athlete. Yeah.
I'm like, come on, give me a break. Our mom's almost 60 and she can lift more than we can for some things. Like you have years under your belt of picking up shit. So I promise you, if you do it the right way, like strength training is gonna be a walk in the park for you, and you can lift heavier than you think you can. So that is number 1. Like we need to kind of get you back into the gym or at home, like get some weights, and you need to start strength training. We need to kind of get rid of the whole like cardio mindset. Just because you're older doesn't mean you just have to default to cardio. You need to start training.
And I think that's where the focus needs to shift from how can I, get as skinny as possible, or how can I lose as much weight as possible, to how can I get as strong or as fit as possible. That simple mindset shift is going to change all of your behaviors that are associated with weight loss. So instead of all the cardio or riding your stationary bike or doing all the different HIIT class or whatever it is that you're doing, like Melissa said, you are gonna be focused on 3 to 4 times a week of strength training. Lifting decently heavy weights, that's important. The other thing that you're gonna be focused on is increasing your cardiovascular health. Not from a way that's gonna be, lots of running or working out or stuff like that. It's gonna be all focused on how can I walk more. There's so many different benefits that come from just walking. So you really need to focus on just walking and strength training more regularly. The benefit of that is the more lean muscle that you build, the more calories your body's gonna burn throughout the day, whether you're actually working out or whether you're sitting on the couch. So that's number 1. Number 2, the more lean muscle you have, the stronger that you're gonna be as you get older, so you're not gonna have to rely on so many people to do all the things for you. And the last thing is it's gonna protect all of your bones. As women, our bones tend to get weaker over time. We run those risks of falling or cracking a hip or your knee starting to give out or things like that. We need to start to strengthen the muscles to support those bones. That way we can live long, healthy, active lives. That's number 1.
Okay, so now let's talk about the nutrition side of things. Like I said, you're 60 years old, we're 60 years old, and we've been dieting pretty much off and on our entire lives trying to lose this stubborn weight. At this point, we have years under our belt of damaging our metabolisms. Our metabolisms are adapted. They've really kind of slowed down. It kind of feels like it's not even there anymore. The very first thing that we need to do in terms of nutrition is bump up calories so that we're not in a steep calorie deficit. We want to be in a moderate calorie deficit. Even if you're 60 years old, we still recommend you take your body weight and multiply anywhere between 11 and 12 to get a moderate calorie deficit. You're gonna be on these calories for about 6 months probably before you make any changes. The idea is you want to diet down on as high of calories as possible before we drop those calories even lower.
And I think, again, the whole focus is going from how do I lose weight as quickly as possible to how do I fuel my body as well as I can. Because at this point, like Melissa said, your metabolism's like old and shriveled, and it's like, please give me some fuel. Like,
yeah.
It
needs oil. Like, the fuel is
like the Tin
oil.
Man.
Yeah, you are the Tin Man right now.
Oil can.
Did you say something? He said oil can.
And it's just like, feed me, please feed me.
Give me some fuel to thrive.
Let's just talk about, like, some of you are at a point where you're retiring, or, you know, you want to go on, these are your golden years. Like, your kids are gone. Like, you are just living your life. You should be able to enjoy it and not feel like, I'm 60 and I'm still dealing with this bullshit. No, like, I can go out to dinner. I can eat the foods I want. I can go to Florida and eat all this food. Like, I don't know. You can enjoy your life. Like Jess said, the focus has to shift away from, I need to lose weight as fast as possible and get skinny, to I want to be strong
and I want an active, healthy life. If you are focused on like the how can I lose weight as fast as possible, you're going to be starving yourself. You're only going to be focused on diet foods. You're not like living a full life. We need to focus on how do I fuel my metabolism. So that means eating more calories than you've probably ever eaten before in your entire life. When that happens, your metabolism is going to realize, your body's going to realize, hey, I'm getting consistent energy in. That means I don't have to hold on to all of this stored body fat that you've basically been teaching me for the last 40 years. I go through periods of starvation and then periods where I'm not starving. So my metabolic memory is really kicked in at this point, understanding that if I'm starving again, I know exactly what's happening, so I need to hold on to this body fat because I know that I go through these periods of starvation. So if we fuel your metabolism consistently, we fuel your body consistently, that will start to send safety signals to your body to say, hey, I don't have to hold on to the stored body fat anymore. I can let it go because I am getting fuel in through food and through good food. 80% of your food choices are going to be wholesome, nutritious, meant to fuel your body. The other 20% is going to be fun, indulgent, keep you mentally sane, whether that's, you know, a cocktail here and there or pizza or ice cream or whatever it is. You need to find that balance, but we absolutely need to get away from all of the crap that you've been doing for the last 40 years of your life, which is starving yourself and running your body into the ground with cardio. The focus really has to be on getting strong and fueling your body. That way we continue to live the next 30, 40, 50 years as active and fit as possible.
Great.
Good.